television. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I know, that's a lot of tabs, but bear with me. So, unfortunately, I spoke too soon. I received a message from the cat footwear social media team that the entire Ridgemont series has been discontinued. And that would explain these clearance sale prices for the Ridgemont 2s and whatever remaining Ridgemont 1s are still available in whatever sizes. Not any popular sizes or anything, obviously. This is all just a giant sell everything off and then discontinue it type stuff. I'm pretty bummed out about this, though. Now, it's not like the Ridge 2s couldn't pick up where the Ridge 1s left off. And I like the rubber that's on the bottom of a lot of cat shoes. Of course, I know there's also Vibram soles for boots and stuff like that. But I've done some digging around, obviously, in light of all of this, and I've looked through Cat's catalog as well. That's a little redundant, isn't it, Jay? Yes, it is. There's some other stuff that's on sale, too, like this extension work shoe. There's also the Argon composite toe shoes if you want to have a safety toe without having to worry about going through the metal detector and, burp, and stuff like that. So, there's also the men's Argon as well. And it's Prime Day too, so if I want to try a different pair of shoes or something like that, let's check out some of these here. I don't know, I'm getting ahead of stuff with the boots. Let's go to the extension work shoe and just check it out. These are on sale for 50 something. Should I maybe try? They look like industrial tennis shoes, but the big thing is the rubber that's on the bottom. The big thing that I've liked about the Ridgemonts is the rubber on the bottom with the soles. They've lasted the longest, compared to a lot of stuff that I've seen, even like the Wolverine Durashocks, Oponka Oxfords that I had at one point. That was more plasticky and stuff. And I've seen some of what's on the bottom of some of these so-called work shoes, and I can see why people are having them wear out on them in just a couple of months. And the work shoes can't handle work and stuff. So I am thinking of perhaps checking out some of these other cat shoes that are on sale, just maybe to try some out, or if these are being discontinued or something, we'll just get some of these so I can have something comfortable. Let's check the pinch point. One, two pieces of leather. All right. Anyways, so the thing with cat footwear is that the Ridgemonts, perhaps one of the reasons why it was discontinued is, I'm one of probably a very niche customer, because I want shoes that are kind of like boots. Or if you want to say boots that are more like shoes, but I don't mind something like this. Actually, that's the brown version. Let's switch to the black version. There we go. I don't mind plain black shoes. I don't know. I guess that's not what's fashionable nowadays, because if you look at, for example, various safety toe and composite toe shoes, they basically look like sneakers plus. Maybe I'm old-fashioned or something, but I don't have a problem with work shoes looking like work shoes. Like, here's the steel toe Ridgemonts right here that are on sale. And is that the same price as the regular Ridges? Well, not like I need steel toes anyways. Let's see here. Where's the other Ridges? Where was that? There we go. Oh, no, a couple of dollars difference. But unfortunately, what we have here is a clearance sale. So, yeah, but the thing is, so I'm kind of niche. I don't have a problem with work shoes being different than more casual shoes. So I would not have a problem with continuing to wear shoes like this indefinitely. Basically, work Oxfords with some really good rubber on the bottom. But it looks like the tastes people's tastes based on what's available for sale here on Amazon and on Zappos and whatnot. It just seems like people are going in the direction of either boots or shoes, not something in the middle. And in my case, if I have a safety toe at all, I'll want something that's composite toe so I don't have to worry about the metal detector. It'll also be lighter as well. I mean, I've been reacquainted as I've worn my completely unnecessary steel toes at work tonight at exactly how heavy steel toes can get. So there is one niche use for those, though. I mean, we do have little things we have to hook and unhook with our feet with the restocking carts, and it was a lot easier with a big heavy steel toe, let me tell you. But the whole thing with the heavy weights on your foot, and you get torqued by the steel toe being on the very far edge of your foot, so you do walk differently with steel toes if you haven't worn them in a while, and when you're bumping into stuff, you start to notice it. But it's really too bad. But apparently I'm kind of a niche customer in terms of what I'm looking for, because I don't have a problem with plain black shoes. but if you look at other safety shoes or work shoes, they're kind of like sneakers plus plus, like steel-toed sneakers or something. But I don't really need to go completely in the other direction and start wearing boots all the time either. This isn't a boots job. I'm not wearing construction. I'm not working in construction or anything. I'm not walking through mud or anything of that sort. I don't need boots. So that's the thing. These things have been perfect for years prior to the Ridge 2s coming out. And if you know what my ideal shoe would be with cat footwear? A Ridgemont with the Ridgemont 1's uppers, the Ridgemont 2's soles, or the rubber on the bottom, and composite toe. That would be the work shoe for me that I would buy over and over again exclusively. But I guess my tastes are very niche. People seem to be gravitating, I'm guessing people are gravitating towards either shoes or boots, but not something in the middle like this. So it's pretty sad because I remember wearing, shop shoes in high school with electronics, except they were made by Goodyear. Well, Goodyear put their brand on them anyways, but they were Goodyear steel-toed shoes, and they were sold basically like, hey, here's the stuff people wear in the pits at NASCAR or something like that. They wear steel toes while working on cars and stuff like that. So, yeah, I might check out something else in Cat Footwear's catalog for now, but also knowing that the Ridgemonts are discontinued, if that means the discounted price, plus they don't sell out very quickly because of the issue with the toe pinching, I know what piece of leather is causing that. If I can get the tools to fix that, I wouldn't mind modding Ridge 2s just to keep wearing them until they're finally nowhere to be found anymore. The interesting thing, though, is that the Cat catalog is more a matter of form factor and what rubber you want on the bottom, which is why I'm looking at these Salvo boots over here. Well, I'm kind of spoiling things right here, but if you know anything about the Ridgemont 1.0s, these are the Cat Salvo boots. And if you look down at that sole, that's the insole that was in the Ridgemont 1.0s. And if we look at this, that pattern on the bottom, that rubber pattern on the bottom is the pattern that was on the Ridgemont 1.0s. So if I want the Ridgemont 1.0s, essentially all I have to do is look for a boot that has this as well. Same thing too if we move forward to the men's Alaska 2.0 work boot. It actually has, there's the ease technology, which I've seen in the Ridge 2s. It doesn't look like there's a pinch point around here. Checking out the leather in the close-up here. Looks like there's only 2 pieces of leather there instead of 3. But there's the ease cushioning. And there's the rubber bottom of the Ridge 2s. So I do have options for staying in the Cat catalog, redundant that may sound, if I want to keep wearing Cat footwear stuff. And here's the Argon composite toe shoes that are like bowling shoes with composite toes. And then there's the streamlined leather shoes, which are basically a sneaker plus plus. I think these also come in composite toe as well. But the thing is, I don't mind a shoe that can actually bump up against pallets or something like that without having to worry about tearing stitching or something along those lines. And that's really what I'm running into, is a lot of these shoes are like steel-toed sneakers and stuff. I guess that's what's fashionable nowadays, but I do like the rubber patterns on the bottom of the Cat footwear shoes. I know what it's made of. It's basically like tire rubber, so as opposed to the foamier, plasticky type stuff that I see out there nowadays. And lastly, here's the men's extension once again. Looks like I've kind of gone to them by mistake, and yeah, that looks pretty decent. So yeah, it all comes down, what I've been seeing with the shoes here is that it all boils down to the rubber that's on the bottom. Some of it looks more rubbery than others. I'm sorry I have to compare shoes that way, but that's basically the way things are nowadays. Now, if we head on off to Amazon, here's some of the options I have for getting away from Cat footwear, like these Bates boots right here. This would be pretty decent. But it's actually a tactical boot. I don't know how the rubber is on the bottom, but what's interesting is so-called Cat footwear is actually a company, is actually a licensee of the Caterpillar name, and it's actually, the company itself is actually under the umbrella of Wolverine Worldwide, who also is in charge of course, Wolverine and also Bates Boots. So I'm looking at these, and I could try these out, but the thing is, these are zip-up boots. This would be, me walking over towards tactical boots and stuff like that in order to have something like this. And do I really want to mess with a boot zipper? So, piece of Velcro and a boot zipper. I mean, I've never had to deal with zip-up boots before, or boots in. Well, I have worn boots in general. But do I really need to start wearing police boots to work because shoes that are boot-like are not popular anymore? So yeah, Bates boots. This is something that's available. There's also, this one's funny. I'm tempted to pick these up just because of the novelty. Smith & Wesson. That looks like the logo for Smith & Wesson, too, the gun company. I wonder how many redneck jokes I'd get if I showed up in these. I don't know if they even have, I don't know if these Smith & Wessons here even have, like, composite toe or safety toe options. It looks like some decent rubber on the bottom. The big question is, what happens in the wintertime? Does the rubber become like plastic? That's the problem I had with the Wolverine Oxfords back in the day. But I'm tempted to get these just for the novelty of having Smith & Wesson boots. Smith & Wesson. I'll have to see what else they have. The catalog as well. Show up to these who are Smith & Wesson. What the hell? Where the heck did you get them from? What hath Amazon wrought, huh? And there's Maelstrom. Of course, I still have the Maelstrom shoes, which were my experiment with composite toes and stuff, where it just has flaps of suede and stuff. I have a video on that, which you've been seeing in the end screens if you've been watching these things. But Maelstrom Tactical Gear also makes boots. And again, I'd be dealing with a zip-up boot here, but that's got some decent rubber on the bottom. It just depends on how tough the rubber is, because what I'm seeing with a lot of these cheaper shoes out there, like for work shoes and stuff, is that people are basically, they just fall apart. Or you get these things down to essentially a pencil eraser after a couple of months. So I don't know if this would be like that with these Maelstrom boots. But they got some shots where some models like, hey, get them dirty. Look like you're wearing them at work. Yeah, so got Maelstrom here. But again, zip-up tactical boots. Do I really need to? Of course, I'm a serious enough guy at work that folks might actually joke about me showing up in military boots if I ever did that. Like, hey, Mr. Combat Boots is here. But yeah, Maelstrom, could check them out. I've already got the Compto shoes from them from earlier, but I just have a problem with those Compto shoes where it always feels like I'm about to step out of them because there's not much material on the uppers. I'm just not used to shoes feeling like that. The big thing is dealing with that metal detector. Steel toe and alloy toe probably is not a good idea for me because then, buzz! Alright, flip up your pant legs so we can see that you're not stealing something, or whatever. Anyways. And yeah, so I've dug around Amazon and I've seen some things like Skechers for work. Again, you got basically sneaker plus here, and soft stride slip resistant. Oh, that's an athletic Oxford. But I tell you, wait a minute. Yeah, that's considered an Oxford. It looks like a sneaker. And that's the thing, you know, if I bump the sneaker into something, or if I scuff something or something along those lines, and you tear out a stitch or something like that, as opposed to an Oxford where you just buff it over with stuff you'd clean shoes with. There's Timberland Pros as well, but that's got an alloy toe, so that's not good for the metal detector. And but here's what I've been seeing a lot of. Skechers for work, and this stuff's on sale right now for Prime Day. I mean, this looks like a pretty decent Oxford. This is the work version. Does this have some kind of safety toe? There are safety toe versions of this out there, I think. I was looking at them the other day. But the problem I have is slip-resistant treads. How deep do they go? So I don't want a bowling shoe in 5 months. So I don't want to have bowling shoes in 5 months because we're talking mostly a dry, dusty environment. So when you start getting dust and stuff like that, your so-called slip-resistant shoes, and when the treads go away, they basically turn into bowling shoes. I just don't want to have the same problem with sneakers that I used to have because the treads aren't deep enough, as opposed to what the Cat Ridgemonts can offer me. Here's a Thorogood men's ASR athletic work shoe, and it's got that on the bottom, again with this this anti-slip doohickey. But it makes me wonder, this slip-resistant stuff. It makes me wonder what happens when some of those tiny treads wear away. How quickly do those tiny treads wear away? I think I'd rather have deep treads so I can keep having treads after the tiny treads have all rubbed off. Here's the Wolverine Man's Floor Hand steel toe shoe. This looks like the descendant of the Oponka Oxfords that I used to wear, but it's the steel toe version, so again, the metal detector, and not so sure about that rubber pattern on the bottom. You know, I really don't want to spend a decent amount for a work shoe that has a blue rubber rubber pattern on the bottom. Can I even speak tonight? Well, I'm doing better than last night because I didn't get a bunch of surprise sugar at 6:30 in the evening. So anyways, Rocky Men's Alpha Force Oxford M. This is considered an Oxford shoe, so maybe that's just a name for low-top shoes or something. Here's a good one. Thorogood Men's Uniform Classic Leather Oxford. I've seen the pattern on the bottom. It's pretty deep. It's not on Amazon, but I've seen it on other sites as well. But this is another work Oxford that I could consider looking into. And of course, you see, there's some others out there. This is the part where there's a little bit of crossover with dress shoes and stuff like that. But what you don't see here is what I had with the Cat Men's Ridgemonts, or what could have been with the Ridgemont 2.0s. That's the issue here. The Ridge 2s, except for that one piece of leather, they'd be amazing. So the fact that they're discontinued is just really... Well, the fact they're discontinued is... Oh, wait, back up. So here's what I keep seeing over and over again. That's why I was down there. I wasn't there to look at the related stuff. This is the Skechers men's Tomcats, and I've seen people make videos of these where they just wear out in like 3 or 4 months. So it's not the kind of longevity that I'd expect from something like this. Although I can get them in extra wide, so I can get them in extra wide and stuff, and see what I can get out of them. Put some polish on them and stuff, and see if I can make the rubber wear out first. So these are the Skechers Tomcats. There's also the Skechers Alley Cats, which are shinier. Might go better with my shoe polish and leather treatment and stuff like that. Some people say that the shinier Skechers last longer than the not-so-shiny ones, and others say the opposite. So I really don't know what to go with on this. But at this point, I'm just ready to experiment. I just don't want to be buying shoes too often. I mean, this is the sort of thing that I've only had to do once every 1 or 2 years. So this is the one where I was looking at the various types that are available. Hey, there's the Bates really high tactical boots. If I wanted to be Mr. Combat Boots. Merrill composite toe, again, sneaker plus. Where's the Keen utility shoes? That's actually the shoe that I think is the descendant of those Maelstrom shoes that I picked up earlier with the flaps of suede that come together. I just don't know about shoes that don't have that much material on them. And here, lastly, is the Timberland Pro Men's Titan Safety Toe, but I already looked it up on Timberland's website. It unfortunately is an alloy toe, so the metal detector would be in play for that sort of thing. Plus, when it comes to the rubber... Oh, this is vertical. The rubber is pretty decent looking. I'll give them credit for that. However, what is probably the biggest disappointment as I've browsed around looking at all these shoes is this. Men's Wolverine Men's DuraShocks. The boot version. Not the Oxford version that I used to wear. And as you just seen... That looks familiar. So you mean to tell me those terrible boots, those terrible steel toe shoes that I kept walking out of all those years ago that looked like they were too far forward with the greasy, plasticky treads on the bottom were an actual Wolverine product? This is the real deal? It wasn't like, some issue with counterfeit merchandise on Amazon or something? This is actually a thing? I think I'll stay away from Wolverine then, because the big problem I had with these all those years ago is that I wondered if this piece would come off, because it's separate from that. I don't know. Or is this what DuraShocks are nowadays? Because the DuraShock Oxfords I was wearing didn't have any of this blue stuff on them. So, yeah, I'll pass on that. But going back to the Cat catalog, redundant though that is, I'm really bummed out, of course, about the Ridge 2s being discontinued, but it's just... Why does this have to be? How did I end up so niche in terms of the shoes that I wear? I mean, I could, of course, go with the Caterpillar second shift boot, which is probably the closest analog, except for the tread pattern, to what I've been wearing. And yeah, there, one of those. But it's, again, steel toe or soft toe only, so no composite options. But I could go soft toe, switch that over. What does the price drop down to? But the big thing is... Oh, wait a minute. Color honey. Where's the black one? There we go. Woo! The thing is, messing with boots and having to lace everything up through these things on the side right here. I mean, oh man, do I really need to go to all that trouble? Yeah, I know. Once my jeans fell over the top of the boots, they would look like shoes, but boots? Really? Maybe I just have to suck it up and join the and join up with all of those ex-military folks that I work with. Like, "Ah, come on, Sonny, you can learn to take care of boots too." Or at least maybe they thought that. I don't know. But yeah, I have worked with a lot of ex-military over the years that are big on, taking care of boots and stuff. So they'd have a big background in that from their time in the service. So I'd be late to the party on that one. But yeah, what a bummer that the Ridgemont 2s and the entire Ridgemont line has been discontinued. Where I go from here, well, I don't know. I'm tempted to just go back to those Ridge 2s and try and cut out that extra piece of leather and see if I can do that without destroying the shoe. That'd be a nice way to get some get some use out of these things. Well, yeah, quite the head scratcher. Quite the head scratcher. Indeed. MultimediaJay out.